Yes, ladies and gents, it's Thursday night, so that can only mean one thing. It's the Wbkb night for the show, the 23rd of March. It's going to be amazing. I've got Russell Burns, Jamie Christopher coming on, but we've got a little special thing as well to do first. We've got Andy's Man Club, Steve Brown from there. He's going to come on, and Gilly from the Wbkb. He's wanting to talk a little bit about his experience with mental health as well. So the link to Andy's Club in the description box. So, if you ever feel like talking or anything like that, reach out to Andy's Man Club. You can find them in the description box. They can help with many different array of things. So without further ado, let's just bring them on. Gilly, Steve, how are you doing this evening?
Very good, Ross. How are you, mate?
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. And Gilly, we talked about this off camera a little bit, but you want to kind of open up yourself a little bit about your own struggles in the past, and we'll let Steve first talk about Andy's Man Club and tell us all what it's about.
Well, what we are basically is a non-judgmental peer-to-peer support group, basically a men's talking group. We operate from 7 till 9 every Monday night. I personally work in one. I mean, we're not professional. I'm not a professional, I'm just a facilitator, and we bring people in with very similar problems. If you've got an issue or a problem, you come down to Andy's Man Club, and there's bound to be at least half a dozen people with the very same issues or problems as you. And we talk about it. We have a structure. I mean, we have a few simple questions. We talk about how's your week been, what's highlighted your week, and then the big one is basically, have you got anything to get off your chest? So people will speak about what's bothering them, and you can guarantee there's so many more people in that room with the same problem. We're a suicide prevention charity, to be honest, and we do save lives and we make people better. We started this time January last year. I found there was a lot of people in this area struggling, a lot of suicides. We've got twice the national average of suicides in Cumbria. It's horrendous. So I was looking for something to do, and basically there was nothing. The NHS is busting at the seams. They haven't got enough staff for the epidemic of mental health. So anyway, managed to get a few lads together who've been through a lot of problems themselves, so they understand mental health. They understand what they're listening to when people come and talk about it, etc. So yeah, we started this time, January last year. Now we basically, when people get themselves back to the normal selves again, all they want to do is give back. So if there's a few people from the Maryport area, Cockermouth area, Carlisle area, and we did get them from everywhere. We opened, the very first night we opened, we got 40 people, 40 men turned up. We were thinking hopefully we'll get one or two. We got 40, you know what I mean? So the demand for something like Andy's Man Club is massive in our area. So then we've managed to open Maryport, Cockermouth, Carlisle, Whitehaven, and we opened Barrow last Monday, and there's 80 people turned up, 80 men walked through the doors on the very first night. It's amazing. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, you were there at the last Wbkb show as well. I also seen you at the weekend. You were at what was the show again? Russel Promotions. You were there in Bradford. I've seen your stalls in the town centre in Carlisle and things like that, just trying to encourage people to, and it's a great message that you're trying to get out there,
It's amazing. It's amazing how you see people get better. I mean, I have lots and lots of stories, but one that sticks in my mind is when we very first opened, there was a lad just turned up, and he just, the crisis team and the police had talked him down from Harrington Pier. He was going to throw himself off the Andy's Man Club. So he come down the very first night. And basically, he was a mess. I just said to him, keep coming all the time. So anyway, he came to us for weeks and weeks and weeks, and every single week he was getting better and better and better. And then after about 2 months or something like that, I says, how do you feel? I said, are you feeling all right? And he says, yeah, brilliant. I feel so good. I've got the support around us. I've got what we call a brotherhood. When you come down there, like, you meet such a lot of people in a very similar situation to yourself, and they form really good friendships and a brotherhood. So anyway, I said to this young lad, do you want to join my team and be a facilitator? And he says, oh my God, that would be amazing. I had to peel him off the ceiling, to be honest. And he says, it's still to this day, he says, it's one of the best things that anybody's ever asked me to do, you know. And that's the sort of passion we have in Andy's Man Club. And that's how it grows. And that's how come there's so many clubs in it now, and we're not stopping there. We're carrying on. We're gonna go Keswick, Penrith, Kendal, as many places we possibly can to get the people in those areas the support they need. You know, it's massive. It's an epidemic, as I say.
Yeah, fantastic work that you're doing. Gilly, how did you hear about Steve Brown and Andy's Man Club?
Do you know something? I think basically through Steve. Obviously at the time before it opened, it was getting hyped up that Andy's Man's Club was coming to work it, and I think sort of man to man, Steve's known in the past that I've had my own sort of personal struggles. I'm a very private person, and I like to bottle things up and keep it inside and just, you know, try and soldier on. And Steve was at me, and do you know something? It was such a relief when he reached out, because I thought, all of a sudden here, you've got a support network in place. You know, I've been in some pretty dark places in the past, and what I tend to do is isolate myself from other people, and there wasn't a support network there. And now all of a sudden, you look and think, if the worst comes to the worst and the hard times return, I just think it's absolutely amazing that we've got this network here, Andy's Man's Club, that's basically doing what it's doing for you know, men all across the country, and it's absolutely fantastic. And that's why, you know, ourselves at Wbkb, because I think it's you know, I come on here every Thursday with you, Ross, and I'll also mention Andy's Man's Club and say it's okay to talk and all the rest of it. But I think, again, it's breaking down the stigma. It's like, even fighters, you know, even the hardest men, the toughest men, the biggest, strongest men, we all have our battles. And I think that's the message to get out there. You know, often we hide it behind a smile, often we hide it behind a bit of maybe false bravado, or it might be, but we all have our struggles. You know, I'm lucky, likes of Kev, who's the other half of the Wbkb with me and his wife Kelly. You know, I know for a fact it's just great. I can always pick up the phone to Kev, and I think that he can do the same. And it's just brilliant that us men have got this support network that up until recent years just wasn't there. You know, it was just a case of man up and get on with it. And like Steve says, it has become an epidemic, and it's something that, you know, we need to tackle. And I think men supporting other men is fantastic. And Andy's Man's Club are leading the charge. And Steve's somebody I've always looked up to. Obviously, he's sat there, you can't see it, you know, but he's a giant of a man, both physically and also, you know, just, you know, Steve's, in my eyes, a legend, you know, and that word gets overused. But what he's doing for other men and what he's started in this county is absolutely immense. And, you know, Steve Brown, to me, is an absolute hero. He really is. And I just want to say thanks to him, and thanks to all the other Andy's Man's Clubs for what they're doing, because it's, like I say, it's priceless. And you guys are saving lives.
Yeah, fantastic.
Cheers,
Lots of nice.
That's fantastic.
Sorry.
Thank you, Rod. See, what just to add to what you were saying, Gil, it's like it's just needed. It's needed, and luckily I was the person to set it up, you know, and it's spread so far. See, the fighting game is a lonely game, and however big and tough you are and hard, the hardest thing to deal with is your own mind. in a lot of cases, and we try and break this stigma. We don't want any man to suffer in silence. That's what we are about. We want people to come break this stigma. The stigma, it's horrendous. Like people won't come down because what if somebody else knows about it? What if what we do is massively confidential. What's said in our place and our clubs doesn't leave the club, because if it does, it wouldn't work. Because it's a safe space to talk for men. They come down there and they don't expect everybody in town to be talking about them, because we live in small towns around here, So, yeah, that's our thing. It's massive confidential, and we are basically here to break the stigma and let no man suffer in silence,
Yeah, because there's plenty of people out there that do, and like I say, I want to direct you to the description box to Andy's Man Club. The link for Instagram's there, and you can reach out and talk to someone, or put in touch with people that can help and everything like that. So, I think it's
what he said there, Ross, very quickly. Just on, it's you get guys who basically fight into their life, and then what happens is, from a fight sport point of view, they get to a point where all of a sudden they realise they're not going to be the UFC fighter, they're not going to be the BKFC fighter, and they've got to deal with that when the guys who maybe dedicate their lives to training 6 days a week, twice a day. Or then you get the guys who are at the end of their careers and it's all they've ever known, and then all of a sudden at 40-year-old, for example, it's like the body can't take it anymore, and they're like, well, what do I do next with my life? And I think it's, the fallout from not just fight sports, but say rugby and things like that, when men have no longer got the things that they've known all their lives and it's taken away from them. I do think that's a massive contributory factor to sort of, things that affect men's mental health. And obviously from our end, that's why we try and get across to our fighters. You're not just a fighter to us, you're family. We want our fighters to feel that, we care about them, we're in constant touch with them, because they're not just here to fight and go. We like to say, we genuinely care about these guys, and like I say, Andy's Man's Club is part of what we are doing to sort of, with regards to that aim, with regards to making these fighters feel valued and feel like they're more than just, somebody in a ring. They're a human being, they're a father, they're a husband, whatever they are, and like Andy's Man's Club play a massive role in that for us.
Yeah, I mean, no one should be seen as just a commodity, like you say, with someone's brother, father, son, someone to everyone, really. And sometimes it's hard to kind of see that and, people's self-worth gets so low that they can't kind of look inside themselves and what they've given to the world. And it's a shame. But lots of lovely comments coming in for you as well, George Bean, saying that you've helped him in many ways, top bloke, true inspiration. Oh, we lost him there. Hi, Steve, such a lovely, caring person, from Sean Johnson. Cloud Competitions, huge shout out to Steve. We're so great working alongside the Wbkb, supporting our Man Club, break the stigma of doing, of going for our own baggage. So, I mean, and Lee Butterworth as well. Well done, Steve. Mental health in the UK is at an all-time high. This is brilliant. And again, I just direct people to there are people out there to talk. And you can find the link to Andy's Man Club's Instagram on the description box. So, what have you got coming up then, Steve? Like I said, I've seen you out and about in Carlisle Town Centre with the stall and everything. And
it's just a weekly thing, every Sunday we'll be in the town for a cup of coffee, have a wander around town. It's all about awareness. We get invited to do talks and presentations everywhere, which I love doing, fantastic, because it's getting generally through social media where we get awareness, but a lot of it is private, like going to companies and doing a talk or doing a presentation in front of, like I was doing one yesterday for a load of nurses, and there was about 80 nurses on a Teams talk and things like that. It's just constant, but I absolutely love it. There's one thing I can say is we have an online version as well. So if people are a bit too nervous to come to a physical club, there's there's an Andy's Man Club online. It's on a Monday night, and you just email info@andysmanclub.co.uk, and then they'll send you out a link to take part in the online one. Like a Teams meeting sort of thing. Yeah, but honestly, it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's needed. It's needed everywhere. That's why it grows so fast. We're breaking down the stigma. I mean, we started last year, and our club number was 117. We have over 177 now. That's just in 1 year. So we're going to be bigger than anything before long, Men's mental. We're putting the word out there. We're getting the word out. We're breaking the stigma. We're getting people to talk, and that's all that's needed. Come down to talk and get things off the chest, and they feel so much better. Some of them lads are bouncing out there. They're hugging one another at the end of the meeting, shaking hands and making new friends, changing telephone numbers, meeting outside the club. Honestly, it's fantastic the way it is.
Yeah, and it must be, it's a selfless act, but what you're doing and everything like that, but it must feel great. I mean, even if you've just helped one person feel a little bit better about themselves.
That's it. It's about that one man that comes through our door and who's suicidal or really down in the dumps, never left the house for 12 months or so, or whatever. There's so many different stories, and we see them grow within themselves over the weeks and months till they're back to normal. But they're even better than back to normal because they know they've got the support network. They know they've got a lot of good friends, new mates, and it isn't just for them men, it's for their families as well, their friends, their workmates. Everybody that comes down there and gets itself better, it reflects that just reflects massively on all their families, etc. as well. It makes the whole world better for them and their families and friends.
Absolutely, absolutely. You'll be at the next Wbkb event, I'm sure, 23rd of March.
Yeah. I'm not booking any holidays this time.
No, it'll be great to have them along again at the event, Ross, and I'm sure, like you say, they'll have a stall there. So anybody who's coming to our event on the 23rd of March, Andy's Man Club will be there. They'll have a stall. Please get over there, have a word with the lads, have a crack with them. I'm sure you'll gain something from it. It'll be absolutely fantastic. And we're honoured and humbled to be working with Steve Brown and the rest of the Andy's Man's Club team.
Yeah, that's it. And you take your leaflets, everything. You give out leaflets to people and stuff like that. So it's fantastic. Yeah. Well, it looks like we've got both fighters in the background now. Absolutely brilliant what you're doing, mate. Keep up the good work. The message from why it's good to talk. Fantastic there, Sean Sweeney.
Yeah, that's Sean Sweeney, one of our event sponsors from Lake District Raw Dog Foods. Thanks very much for that comment, Sean.
Yeah, I think he stole a line off Bob Hoskins there in the 90s. It's good to talk. If anyone remembers that, I'm not sure if anyone can remember that far back. But
I'm old enough to remember, unfortunately, Ross.
Showed my age a bit there as well.
I think you are.
But tonight, yes, we're going to be joined by Russell Burns and Jamie Christopher. Jamie Christopher looks ready to go. Another nice comment there. Keep up the good work, lads. From Kevin Thompson, lovely. Right then, should we bring the fighters in, guys?
Yeah, get them on. It's all about these guys now.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much. Anyway, that's brilliant. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you for coming on, Steve. Anytime. Joined now by Jim Christopher and Russell Burns. Everyone, how he's doing, lads?
Yeah, good, mate.
Good.
You got me on, Jamie?
Yeah, mate. Got bad eyesight. Can't see.
For the WBKB with the hat on there, like it.
Representing.
Good man. Yeah, you lads have got a big fight coming up, 23rd of March. CRL Factory Outlet, Workington. Tickets are still available. The the contact phone number for tickets is in the description box as well. Give that a call if you want your tickets. It's not to be missed. It's going to be one hell of an event. And these two lads are chomping at the bit to eat their eyes. Or maybe his arms, I don't know.
Say that again, pal. Line's a bit fucking mammy language.
Is it, are you both ready for the fight?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Always, yeah, of course we are.
Ready. Stay ready.
I seen you out at YouTube Wars just a couple of weeks ago, Russell. You were in a gloved fight, just some heavy sparring for you.
Yeah, people say to call it a warm-up fight, but I think that's a bit disrespectful to the opponent. You know, a warm-up fight is sparring. You know, so I take every fight as it's serious, but it's. I did the job, but it wasn't my best performance. Obviously, we had a conversation about it before with my chest infection, so I went down and got the job done and got the win. So.
Excellent. What about yourself, Jamie? How's camp going for you?
You know what? Yeah, it's going all right. I just got back into it after my last fight because I haven't been well really, but as a few people like Kev knows and that, but I'm doing all right. I'm getting there, doing a few rounds and that, so I'm ready anyway. You just gotta like stay ready, aren't you? Really, it's one of them. I mean, I had a few months off me, about 3 months off, because my uncle had an accident. So I've just got back into it about this last 4 weeks. So I'm doing all right. So
excellent. We'll go with you first, Jamie. How do you see this fight going with Russell?
You are. How
do you see the fight going with Russell?
Me personally, I don't think it's going to go one round, but that's obviously we all say that about our own people. Obviously, you always got to bet on yourself, haven't you? Me, obviously, no disrespect to Russell, but it's not going to go one round. I'm telling you, but he can say the same about me. Do you know what I mean? He's gonna. You know what I mean? It's one of them. But
we'll expect fireworks. That's all, innit? Yeah.
Fireworks. Yeah. Throw them punches. Throw them before you set off. Nah, listen, mate. Listen, end of the day, it's one of them. Yeah, if you don't back yourself up and say this and that, then what is the fucking point? Do you know what I mean?
100%. You've got to back
in there. I'm not going in there just to play a back because my money, like behind his man club and all that. But do you know what I mean? It's all for good cause. My cause is my niece's CMV awareness.
I know. It's good what he does. I don't think no one's really elaborated what he does for charity. You see, do you know what I mean? All his purse goes to charity, which you think is a good thing to do as well. Do you know what I mean?
See, I mean, I don't do it for any financial gain. Even all promotions that I've fought on Rock Solid, Olympus. Shout out to them two promotions. But my sister, who comes to every single one of my fights, and probably Russell, you'll meet her. She's coming to the one in March. The percentage goes to my sister's charity, and then I'm putting a percentage. Because my uncle fell down escalators 4 months ago, and he died at the bottom of the escalators, and he was at every single one of my fights. He was at the first Olympus. He was at the Rock Solid. And he obviously couldn't come to the other one, and this is why I had my first fight with Olympus, and I did lose, but I only gassed out of the third round because I'd not done no training, but it rewards, you know what I mean? I do believe if it, like, obviously with everything that happened with my uncle, like, it would have been a lot different, but my mindset's in a massive, a completely different mindset to this fight. And that, so CMV awareness, it's like not many people, it's not really out there. It's cyclomegalovirus or something like that. I can't even pronounce it. And what it does, you're pregnant women, you're pregnant. It can catch you at any time in your pregnancy, and it's like a virus that eats away at the brain. It contracts through like kids, and when kids are playing out dirt and they get dirty and things like that. It's an absolutely break. Do you know what I mean? And my sister had to bring her daughter into this into the world, and she was completely blind and everything. Couldn't walk. She had 100 fits a day, and she passed away when she was 2. So what we do now is like I do this fighting to keep my head level, like keep me level-headed. You know what I mean? Obviously, I have a lot of demons like everybody else does, like you've just been talking to on Andy's Man Club, but it's like, so if I can like put a bit of awareness out there and get a bit of like a bit of person and give it to my sister and all that, then we're winning, aren't we? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's good that you came through the other side, you know, and you do things to move forward in a positive way as well.
Yeah.
What does fighting mean to you then? Is having a fight lined up kind of important for your mental health and things?
Well, me, Ross.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I got into it. I've always had a fight. I mean, I'm a twin. Me and my brother's not smoke out of each other over years growing up. So I've always had a fight. And do you know what? I actually got into it in 2019. I was supposed like with Christian Roberts, who owns Spartan. But I was going through a bad time, and I was matched up to fight Robbie Adamson. He's one of my good pals now. He owns Rock Solid. Obviously,
good guy.
But it would have beat me up, like, because I was proper bad. You know what I mean? I was really poorly, like. So I've been always interested in it. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I wasn't there when my niece died. I was like, I was really bad. Do you know what I mean? I was like mental health issues and drugs and all that. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, when she died, I felt like I wasn't there for her. So, do you know, it's like I started this BKB journey for her kind of thing. And if I can bring a fight, like get fights in, and it keeps me level-headed. Like I've been going through a bad time recently. Kev knows all about it. But the only thing that's keeping me going is having this fight. You know what I mean? This is the only reason I took the fight with the other guy in Olympus, because I was supposed to have a rematch with another guy that I fought, but he had to pull out through his mental health issues. You know what I mean? And obviously I didn't question it. But me being me, I just thought, fuck it. You know what I mean? I jumped into it and still did it. So yeah, these fights you could say that they do keep me level-headed a lot of the time. And Kev could have pulled me from it a few times, do you know what I mean? Because he's kept me going, do you know what I mean? Saying, listen, do you know what I mean? And I respect it. I respect him as a person, do you know what I mean? I met his auntie, Kelly's auntie in Benidorm, you know, 4 months ago, and I was telling his auntie about my uncle and all that, and he went, you better meet, you remind me of my niece's husband. He's like what you're like, you know, like chatty, you know, just like a laugh. And do you know what? And I got in touch with him, and he got me matched up. I wanted first to be matched, and do you know, after this fight though, I'm gonna take a few months off to get my fitness proper steady. But like I say, do you know what I mean? He could have pulled me a couple of times, like, because I've been bad, but now I'm in a good place now. Do you know what I mean? Last few weeks I'm sound. Been training. I'm still training. But I still have them bad days. But it's like you could say it is keeping me going. It does keep me going.
Good man. Good man. Russell, how do you see this fight going for yourself?
Obviously, like Jamie said, you got to back yourself, don't you? Of course, I back myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't have took the fight. I back myself in every fight I have. Do you know? Yeah. Otherwise, if you can't back yourself, what's the point in having to go? Do you know what I mean?
You had a tough opponent in Corey last time.
Yeah, I mean, Corey, I got replaced with Corey, which, you know, Corey's not, like you say, I accepted the fight with Corey. I didn't realise how experienced Corey was, you know. But that's it, you know, you go in. I still back myself against him, you know. And the thing is that's in the BKB, it can happen like that, you know. I got caught with two beauty right hands right on my face. Just they thought I fractured my cheekbone, but luckily it was just a trauma off the punch. It just swelled up my face, you know. So, like I said,
I watched your first fight. Yeah, it was quite. Oh, yeah, you had a suspected cheekbone break, didn't you? I bet you. You could have probably kept going then, couldn't you?
Yeah, well,
it's one of them though. Like say Russell, like you can get it at any point, can't you? You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah, and that's why you got to respect each fight. How heavy-handed each person is, you know. It only takes one punch to end it, you know, and that's.
And another thing, a lot of people will talk shit saying, yeah, they'll want to get on, mate, but like I say, you've got to give people respect who get in there. And a lot of people who do fight, they're always fighting for a reason, whether it's mental health or addictions, or it's all a fighter always fights for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to respect people like that, because they've got their own problems and they're still getting in there. And I think it's absolutely, that's what everybody should do. They should just get in there, have a fight, because once you're in there, a lot, like say, I feel like I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for everybody, but when you're in there, you're free, aren't you? Your mind's free from.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, once I'm in there, I'm a different person. Me, I mean, like through day, like every day I'm training, I'm thinking about things. I'm thinking of dark things. But when I'm in there, it's like you're not there, but you are there. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's just yourself. Do you have to cut much weight for this then, Jamie? Or
me? Do you know what, mate? I was 14 stone for my first Olympus, but I've dropped down to 13. I'm about 13 now. But that's I don't feel good at 14. I mean, my brother, I'm a twin brother. I've got my twin brother. He's like 14 and off natural. Me, I feel a bit sluggish at that. So I stay. I'm gonna stay. I feel good at about 13. Do you know what I mean? So I'm about 13 now.
what about yourself, Russell? Do you have to cut much
About
weight
the
for this?
same. I went up. Obviously, I went up to like a bit similar in saying like in that way. I went up to light heavyweight, but that's not my natural weight. I'm more of a like you say 13, like a super middleweight sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, go on, mate.
Yeah, that's my natural weight. You know what I mean? More like a 13 stone, the super middleweight. You know, so
Yeah.
I feel like I say, I feel better. I feel a bit sharper at that weight when I put a bit of weight on. I do feel a bit. Though you do look the
sluggish,
part,
don't you? You feel stiff.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Quick question. Just a quick question for you there, Russell. It's in from Rollo, and he says, "Can you ask Russ if he will wear tiny shorts for his fight?"
Yeah, ask him if he'll wear blue tiny shorts.
Yeah, what it is, guys. I got some fight shorts, and I done a boxing match back at the start of last year, and I had my old MMA shorts when I was a bit slimmer than I was when I wore these shorts, and they were like hot pants. So he took the piss out of me.
Your legs look right long in them.
Yeah, well, that's about it. I've never had any big thighs or anything, and that's what he was taking the piss out of on my shorts. But it's still going to come back to normal.
Everybody should just say, don't concentrate on the shorts, just concentrate on the fight. On my second fight for Rock Solid, if you watch my second fight to my first fight is like 13 stone. I was 14 stone on the second fight for Rock Solid Promotions, and I just felt a bit sluggish. Do you know what I mean? So I've cut down. I'm like 13. I feel better. So.
Yeah. Excellent.
Russell, what made you take a glove fight anyway?
I like keeping myself busy, Jamie. To be honest, so it just gives me a little bit more. I don't know, a bit more fire to keep on going. Do you know? Because then obviously I see where I'm at. It's all good sparring and stuff like that, but when, like I say, I took that at 6 days' notice, went down to Sheffield, but it's the nerves of getting in the arena, you know. Like I was saying, the Ross, everyone was so close, so that made me feel a bit more. It just gets my nerves going. So what I'm like, do you know what I mean? And then obviously at Sheffield, I got probably 50, 60 people were going against us, and then that gets your adrenaline going. So
you feel like you've got to prove something, aren't you, every time? But you shouldn't have to prove anyone because you get yourself in the day. So. Do you know what I mean? End of the day, I was supposed to go to that event, but I was poorly again because my pal Clayton, he fought Tommy Galbraith. What a war that was! You know what I mean? And respect to both lads. And that was a war, mate. And do you know what?
That was real, that fight.
Yeah, he couldn't even breathe through his nose, Clayton. Yeah, and he still went. A lot of people would have took the knee and jacked. Do you know what I mean? And then it went 5 rounds. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to give.
I think there's talks of a rematch for that. I think there's talks of a rematch for that one. But
I'd love to see a rematch. I'd love to see a rematch between them two because do you know what? It is an all-out war, and Clayton, he's got a lot more in tank. Do you know what I mean? He just got, he got caught with an early shot in nose, and he'll, do you know what I mean? And he's a soldier. I swear, he's got the heart of a lion, and I would like to see a rematch on that. So
yeah, because I think Galbraith broke his right hand as well, didn't he?
I'm not surprised. He's got a fucking Clayton's face is like a brick wall. I've trained with him a few times. Do you know what? And honestly, he takes it out of you, mate. When you train, he got me blowing anyway. Do you know what I mean? He come down from Doncaster. He come down from Doncaster when I was having a bit of a bad time, and he drove all the way down from Derby. And we did it, and went to a gym, and we did a good training session. And you know what? he knows his stuff, mate, and he's got an heart of gold, you know. So I respect him a lot. Do you know what I mean? We've got really close. Like Kev as well. Kev every other day he'll ring you or text me how you doing. His wife he'll text me just checking up on you. Little things like that, yeah, that keep you going. Do you know what I mean? They don't understand how much it means to you because you don't really let on, but it does. Do you know what I mean? I respect him a lot, and I respect any fighting man that gets in there. Yourself, you, Russell as well. All he is. Anybody that gets in there, you've got to respect everybody. Do you know what I mean? Because like you say, mental health. Like you've just been talking to about Andy's Man Club. Do you know what I mean? Two of my friends. And they're not. They're no longer here. And two of my one of my good friends and a friend that I knew from years, just a month before. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what I mean? And it's hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. But like Andy's Man Club being on tonight, it shows that there are people out there that you can talk to and things like that.
Yeah.
Are you bringing a big crowd up to Cumbria then, Jamie?
Me, do you know what? I'm bringing a few people up, like my sister, my girlfriend, my brother's coming up. My corner man, Simon Kirk's corner, and me, he's going to be up there. I mean, like this is another thing. I like everything because my mum can't come all that because my uncle's disabled, lives with my mum now. So obviously, Kev knows and he's like helped me out a bit, you know, like fucking like saying, oh, just like bring 3 of your family members. So I'm bringing my sister and all that, and obviously because my money gets donated to CMV awareness and obviously, you know what I mean. So I'm not bringing a massive crowd, not as much as I would like to. Do you know what I mean? I would like to bring out an army, like, but it's one of them. Do you know what I mean? I usually bring all my family, like for Bradford. Before that happened to my uncle, I had a minibus full. Do you know what I mean? Like 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, if on the next fight with Wbkb, because I will more than likely be on the next show, I'm going to try and bring a few heads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I'm sure the Cumbrian crowd, we'll all get behind you and everything like that. It's a friendly place.
We all quite. Do you know what I mean? There's no. The Cumbrian crowd just support both fighters. Do you know? They just like a war, don't they? They're like both.
Yeah.
They like both fighters. Just go and meet in the middle. I know a lot of people like the technical side of it, but believe me, all the people was just two people standing in the middle and just knocking 10 bells and shite at each other. That's what the crowd want.
I love it, mate. I love it. I buzz off it, mate. It's like an adrenaline rush. You just buzz off it, don't you? When you're in there, until you gas out, you're like, but then before that, it's all, mate. I love it, mate. I even love it even when I gas out because I still don't even quit. Like my corner man had to put towel in. I didn't take no knee or jack or no. Do you know what I mean? I love it. I just love it, mate.
Russell, I know that Kevin's just put the list of sponsors up there for the Wbkb. A big, massive thank you to all of them because they make the show run and tick. A shout out to you all. But Russell, you're looking for sponsorship as well at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I was. Did you not see Grant's last week? He had the list as long as my arm. So I think Grant's took all the sponsors in Whitehaven, hasn't he? So
go and fight him. Go and say, "Hey, I want
to." I've been training quite a bit, you see, so I haven't really asked for any sponsors or anything like that because I've been in the gym, and to be frank, I don't think I'd get many because Grant's been in there first and took every sponsor and man and his dog, hasn't he?
Who's Grant? Is he another fighting lad from your end? Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting on the show as well.
Greedy Grant. Go on, Kev. Greedy Grant.
Yeah, but like I said, got competitions there.
You've got one
after Russell.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, Russell, I've got 3 sponsors, and 300. I took £300 off each one, and do you know what? It got me my fight kit, my gum shield. So even like things like that'll help you. Just if
definitely. Do you know, it's
you know what I mean? I mean, it's £300. It's a lot. It gets you your boots, gets you your shorts, gets you your
definitely, yeah.
Gum shield, gets you even stuff for days. Do you know what I mean? You should be able, like that. Someone just said there that what you after. Just tell him £300.
It's like I say, I just back profit myself. Do you know what I mean? Anything of protein drinks, anything like that. Try if I get diet food to put weight on. Everything's just supported by myself and me and me and my missus. You know, so any sponsors would be grateful. Do you know what I mean? Because that would just give me like the more from a purse at the end of the fight, and it just get like a work towards for a better purse.
If you've got a sponsor, you can enjoy your purse because your purse is getting back in it.
Yeah, and it just helps with the day-to-day running of costs.
The more you do it, Yeah.
Meal
The more you fight,
preparations, you know, going to
Yeah,
the
sorry,
gym,
mate.
even just getting to the gym sometimes, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
gym
yeah.
membership as
car,
well,
whatever,
Ross. Now, you know, gym membership, you know, everything goes up in price. You know,
it all costs. It all
the
costs to be in this fight
cost,
game.
yeah.
The more you
But
fight, Russell,
hopefully,
the more you
Cow
fight.
competitions can help you out there. Then, mate. Hopefully, they'll
Hopefully,
contact
yeah.
you, or if you
Yeah.
contact them after the show.
Yeah, that's much
And the
appreciated.
Red Corner podcast is looking for a sponsorship as well. So if anyone's interested, might as well get on it.
I've only had three like.
Do you know what though?
Do you want to
Ross?
give your sponsors a shout out there, Jamie?
Yeah, I've got a sponsor. I've only got 3 sponsors, like, but that's all I've needed. It's Kelvin Slack and Co. Tattoo Studio. He's a multi-award winning tattoo artist. If you want to look him up, probably one of the best in country. One of the first to ever do the realism in the country. Like realism portraits. My other sponsor is St. Ledger Frames, and that's one of my good pals. He's probably one of the best in country about doing windows, and I think everybody will probably set same, like, but everybody's got their own opinions. And Frame Spray UK, it's, you know, you're spraying your windows if you can't afford to replace them, get them sprayed, kind of thing. So they're my 3 main sponsors. Like, I was going to try and take another one on for my fight in March, but it's like everyone's full of false. Oh yeah, I'll do this and do that. And you never hear from them, so I don't bother with people about sponsors until they actually like say, do you know what I mean? But they're my 3 main sponsors at the minute. But like I say, every fight you do, like with you, Russell, like, keep fighting, win or lose. Who cares? But your following will go up every fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People up, obviously. My following went up, well, not a big massive following, but it's gone up another 100 since. After I have this fight, probably go up even more. So it's like I'm not even bothered about all that, like, but it just helps for like people wanting to sponsor you, kind of thing.
Definitely, mate. Yeah.
So
Definitely. Look, lads, before we wrap this up, it's been brilliant. I've got another podcast at 9 o'clock with David Round, who's fighting Danny Christie on the BKFC. So David will be back on in the Red Corner podcast on the YouTube channel at 9 o'clock. But have you got any final words to each other? Russell, do you want to go first?
Nothing, Ross. I don't think I've just got a couple of thanks. Really.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
That's all. It's just the only thing that every fight I take, it's just to thank my wife, because we're renovating our house, and when I take a fight, it obviously puts the renovation back. Do you know what I mean? So she supports me by just letting me go to the gym, and it puts the renovation to the house off for another couple of months. You know, so that's just thanks for her for waiting. And I got thanks to Simon Canavan. He texted for strength and conditioning. We do that on like Sundays and Wednesdays. It's called Uncle Simon's Summer Camp. So we get beasties normally down there. And another big thanks to a trainer who's called Neil O'Hare. And he's really brushed up on my boxing skills and stuff like that. He's the one that gets me, do you know, a couple. If do I really want to win this fight? You know, I'm feeling sorry for myself when I am in the gym. Do you know, I'm absolutely knackered, and he's pushing me to the.
You know, I'll give you a bit of advice now. When you're in that ring with anybody, whether it's in March or anybody, just think about your wife and what you're fighting for, and get the money, and, you know, and obviously get it to renovation. Because all I think about when I'm in that ring, is my niece. Do you know what I mean? And what I'm fighting for, and it always drives you to do that little bit further, that little bit better, gives you that little bit more energy. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. And just one other thing, Ross, is just Kevin and Gilly for putting a fantastic show on in Cumbria. Hats off to them, because it's quite a professional show. And just one other thank you is there's someone behind the scenes that you don't really see, and she's just as stressed as probably as Kevin Gilly, and that's Kev's wife, Kelly. You know, she sets all the tables up, makes sure there's little bits for the fighters and stuff. So a big shout out to Kelly. You don't really see Kelly as much because you see Gilly and Kev on the podcast, but she just, I think, behind the scenes. So a big shout out to Kelly as well.
She's the glue that holds it all together, really, isn't she?
If someone's you've got a sponsor here, Russ, mate.
Yeah, I'll get on to them. Yeah, so it's worked out all right.
We'll have to sponsor you 250 towards to help you fight. So fantastic, well done, amazing cloud competitions there. One of the show's sponsors. Go and follow them on the Facebook page. They've got massive competitions at the moment, I keep getting tagged and highlighted in all these different people tagging it in the thing, and they're doing offers, and they've given away TVs and air fryers and all sorts of that kind of stuff. So
well in
go
that,
and give them a
mate. Well
shout.
in.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Right, lads. Thank you very much for coming on. You know, the most important thing, I hope you all get out safe. I want to bring Steve Brown back on as well, just before we go. Steve, thank you very much for coming on and listening and watching in the background.
I met Steve. Thanks so much for inviting us on here. It's fantastic, giving us awareness, let everybody know who we are and what we're about and what we do. It's been a brilliant shout out. Thanks so much.
No problem at all. Anytime, you're more than welcome on anytime. Thank you for coming on. Gilly,
Cheers.
you've stayed quiet tonight, mate, but it's
I've actually enjoyed being able to stay quiet. It's been great. Obviously just my final salvo. We are now down to double digit numbers of tickets. Basically of the capacity. I think there's about 34, 35 tickets left, and then we're officially sold out. So all those people, it's 5 weeks on Saturday till the show. Don't bother us when you've missed out on the tickets. Get your tickets now. Message us on the page or 075 68 729 822. This is going to be a fantastic night. This is one of many brilliant fights that there's going to be on the evening. Really, you don't want to miss this. So get your tickets now while you can.
Spot on, Billy. And best of luck, Jamie, on the 23rd, mate. May the best man win, pal.
Yeah, respect, lads. Nice speaking to you all anyway. I'll see you in March, Russell, yeah, pal.
Cheers, mate.
Respect, boys.
Nice one.
Bye,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
Thank
you.
And come back to
Cheers,
the Red Corner
guys.
podcast. Cheers. Come back to the Red Corner podcast at 9 o'clock. I've got David one more round on, who's fighting Danny Christie for the BKFC for the light heavyweight championship. So come on over for that if you're watching on the WBKB Facebook page. Appreciate it. Thank you again, fellas, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
No worries, off. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Cheers now.
Cheers. The talk.
It's okay to talk. Good man. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Brilliant, guys. Looking forward to watching this fight. Down to earth guys, getting in the ring and going to war. That's what it's all about, you know. It doesn't always have to be, I'm going to jab your face off and punch your lips in, and you know, the respect's there, and it's going to make for an amazing fight. It's going to be fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed this one. It was a little bit different. You know, it was great speaking to Steve from Andy's Man Club. And like I said, I'm going to say it in the description box if you want to help. And get your tickets while they can. Like Gilly said, down to double digits. So don't miss out. It's going to be an amazing show. Going to be an amazing show. We'll be back next Thursday with more guests for the WBKB live face-offs. And like I say, come on over to In the Red Corner podcast on YouTube. And there's plenty more BKFC fighters going to be on the show. Tomorrow night, I've got Chaz Wasserman, who had an amazing performance. The BKFC Crystal Palace, and I've also got Melanie Shah as well, who's desperate to get out to America again and calling out one of the Americans. She's ready for war again. But appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.